Here in the United States, one of the nation's top black mentoring organizations will, despite the pandemic, continue its mission to improve the quality of life within our communities and enhance educational and economic opportunities for all African Americans. And we're joined by author, entrepreneur, and community activist and chairman of the 100 Black Men of America Incorporated, Thomas Dortch. Hello, sir.
Hey, it's my pleasure to join you and to spend this time talking to our communities about the importance of what we have to do to stay safe. And I thank you and BNC for doing what you're doing to keep us all informed.
And we appreciate you for joining us. And for folks who just have never heard of 100 Black Men of America, tell us, first off, introduce it to us a little bit.
Well, the 100 Black Men of America started in 1963, our first chapter in New York, started by the late Jackie Robinson, former Mayor David Dinkins, but it was a total of 100 Black men who came together to address the challenges in New York in terms of equity for Black people, looking at the challenges in the justice system. And so when they came together, they changed the trajectory of New York in 1963. And at the end of that year, the question came from the group, shall we stay together? And they agreed. And then the next question, well, if we're staying together, what shall we call ourselves? And of course, David Dinkins, being the man that he is, said, we'll call ourselves who we are, 100 Black Men. And they were started at the 100 Black Men, Inc. Today, we have 103 chapters. We're in Africa, England, Caribbean island, over 125,000 young people in our mentoring programs, over 10,000 strong. But the important thing is we try to improve the quality of life in our community and show that Black men are standing up. We're engaged and involved, and we're networking with organizations throughout this country, working with agencies and government to make sure that our communities are basically safe, that we're prosperous, and to ensure that our young people are educated and live in a safe environment in the communities where they exist.
As the organization has evolved over the decades, what has been the greatest challenges you've seen for the Black community?
Our biggest challenge first is we can't get enough mentors for all these young people. While we're 10,000 strong and we're still growing, we're trying to encourage more organizations to come together. But the big challenge, and with my good friend Susan Taylor, for example, I helped her start the National Cares Mentoring Movement. We have the Divine Nine who are mentoring. We just need our community to understand that we have to stand up. We have to be heard. We have to be counted. So one is getting enough mentors. The next challenge is that the health disparities that we face today, and we have been meeting those head on under our health and wellness initiatives, is that disparities. And unfortunately, we're being basically disproportionately impacted from this virus right now. So health disparity is a major challenge for us. Improving and having high performance schools in our communities. We don't have enough of those, and we're engaged and involved in high performing schools. And then economic opportunities and economic parity and prosperity is another challenge. So for us, there are so many things that we have to do, but we don't sit and complain about the work. We just roll up our sleeves and try and encourage more partners to work. But our challenge right now is still from the racial side, is the health disparities, not from this coronavirus. It's from the health disparities that exist before. And we have to get our communities to understand we can't expect others to do for us the things that we can and must do for ourselves.
So if somebody's watching and they think they'd love to be a mentor, but they don't feel like they're important enough, or their job's important enough, or they're educated enough, tell folks who you're looking for to help with the mentoring.
Well, first of all, a mentor doesn't have to be someone with some high profile position in the community, doesn't have to have big titles, doesn't have to be someone who works in a suit every day. Mentors are caring adults, individuals who are willing to invest their time to share their lives and experiences with young people. In my book, The Miracles of Mentoring, it talks about the fact that mentoring are trusted advisors. They're caring individuals who want to get involved. And mentors, no matter how old or how young you are, all of us can use mentors. I still have great mentors today who impact my life. And today I turned 70 years old. And I've mentored so many different young people and professionals, because I know the way I made it in life was because someone got involved. So we encourage individuals who are willing to invest the time, to be consistent, to understand that you can do more damage if you start in the lives of young people and don't continue to work with those young people. If you come in and don't stick and stay, as we say, you can do more damage. But young people need us. And our young black boys and young black girls, and of course, our brown boys and girls, they need caring adults in their lives. We can change the whole direction of what our community is doing. We can change the lives of young people, change this from cradle to the graves and cradle to prisons, to cradle to being the ones who solve the problems and can cure the cures for cancer, HIV, and AIDS. And so we just got to get caring adults who are willing to invest the time. You can be a sanitation worker. You can be a teacher. You can be anything you can imagine if you're willing to involve and get in the lives of these young people. You don't have to be some corporate executive. To be honest, we have some challenges where getting enough corporate executives to spend the time with these young people. We just need caring adults.
Well, if folks are trying to get involved with 100 Black Men of America, where can they find more information?
They can go to our website, 100bmoa.org, and can visit our website. In their local cities, they can find 100. If they Google 100 Black Men, they'll find our chapters throughout the country. Or they can call us, and feel free, anyone who hears my voice, to call us at 404-688-5100.
Thomas Dortch, thank you so much for joining us. And of course, you get a happy Easter and you get a happy birthday.
Yes, I do. And I've spent my time today even addressing this issue. Now, I want to just say this as I sign off, is one, we have got to understand now, instead of trying to find out who we're going to blame, we're going to have time to deal with those who didn't do what they should have done. We're in a battle now. I look at church today, and there are people going to church. If you look at what we're dealing with now in Albany, Georgia, there were 2 funerals that took place in Albany, Georgia on one weekend. As a result of that, over 150 people were infected. Now, Albany, Georgia has over 500 plus cases. We're still going to church. We're still gathering. We need to shelter in place. We need to make sure that there will be plenty of time to party and do all those other things later. But this is not racial. This pandemic, this virus is not going out and saying, I'm going to take Black folks out. We have to understand these health disparities, hypertension, diabetes, those things that are impacting us is why we're disproportionately being impacted. And the other thing that we have to do is shelter at home, get out of the streets. I see people at big parties, and we're having folks doing cookouts now. We are our own worst enemy in many cases on this. In church, go online. You can read the Bible for those of you that need the Spirit, but you got to shelter in. I've been in 4 weeks. It's a change for me. I own 6 businesses, but I want to be around for my grandchildren. I want to be around for my organizations. I want to be around to make a difference. Brothers and sisters, take a break. Shelter at home. Don't spread the virus. And you can't look at people because today we know there are those who are walking around with the virus and don't have the symptoms. This is deadly. And so please, please, we need to do social distancing. We need to stay at home, and this too shall pass. So let's take our time, do what we have to do, and then life will be better for us all. And then we must deal with health disparities. We must come back and deal with improving our communities and making sure there's economic prosperity, because our middle class is going to be hit again. We're going to be hurting again in our communities, and we need to be talking now. We need to be dealing with coalitions to address this whole challenge that is waiting for us after this pandemic. And again, the bottom line, our children really are our future, and we have to make sure they have a safe and secure community, top schools to live in, and make sure the economic prosperity flows through all our communities.
Thomas Dortch of 100 Black Men of America. I don't think anybody needs any more church. I think you have the powerful word right here.
Thank you. Appreciate.
And we appreciate you. And actually, I want to get you back one time. We've run out of time, but I want to get you back and talk about what we can do as a black community on the other side of COVID-19, because that's one of the things that are biggest concerns is that we have an economic issue on the other side of COVID-19 that we haven't even begun to start thinking about.
You're right.
All right, sir.
I'll be prepared. Let me know.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.